Give me the green light. Give me just one night. I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to go right now.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Coach Reen and I am so happy you are here. So I'm off work, y'all. Woo! This morning, I was not in anybody's mood. It was raining, it was pouring this morning. I needed to pay attention. I couldn't vlog. So if this is your first time here, guys, hello, my name is Coach Reen and I'm your plus size fitness coach. I am a fitness coach. I came onto these YouTube streets to spread some fitness motivation and just general life motivation to you. I do virtual Zoom workouts Monday through Thursday. And that's right, you heard me right. I do the classes live on Zoom at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would be interested in taking one of those classes, you are more than welcome, honey. But be prepared. Be prepared to work out. Okay? Don't say I ain't warn you. Okay? Don't say that. Don't say that, because you're gonna work out for real, like for real, not for fake, for real. Okay, so basically I'm on my way home from work. I had a really I was about to say, I thought I left my laptop upstairs. I was about to cry because I ain't going back up there. I had a really productive day at work. I was able to do what needed to be done. And then I wasn't feeling so great. I needed to go home. So I took a couple hours off and I decided to head home early. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm heading home. I'm gonna go and relax a little bit before my live class tonight. Boy, so I made a promise, guys. My mommy is still living, and I respect her opinion and her wishes. So my mom asked that I do not speak about celebrities. She was like, don't do that. That's not nice. Like, don't talk about celebrities. That's really not, like, you don't know what's really going on and all of this. So I won't do it. But one of the things, sidebar. There's a very large story going on right now in the news. I'm not going to speak about my opinion of whether anyone is innocent or guilty. What I am going to speak about, though, is a little bit about, I'm going to educate a little bit about domestic violence and what it looks like. So, domestic violence, guys, a lot of times people say that why don't they just leave? Why doesn't such and such just leave? So just so you know, I am a former domestic violence specialist or liaison or advocate, all of the things. So I'm well versed on the subject I'm well versed in domestic violence and what it looks like and how difficult it really and truly is for the person to actually leave the relationship. So one of the most dangerous times for a person in a domestic violence situation is when they try to leave or when they're pregnant. So for someone to just leave, that's when it becomes the most violent. So it's actually not in the best interest of a person that's involved in a situation like that to just leave. They can't just leave. It's not that easy. They can't just pick up and leave. They can't just call a friend and leave. They can't just go to the police and leave. The only thing that the police can really do for them is provide them with a piece of paper. A restraining order. That's it. Please tell me, when have restraining orders become bulletproof? When have restraining orders become other incident proof? There's many ways to do things, right? A restraining order, all it does is anger the person. All it does is anger the batterer. You gotta be more, like, we have to be a little bit more aware of what we're saying. Especially, like, if you have someone in your life that's involved in a domestic violence situation, it is not for them to just leave. And most of the times, if they do leave, they're probably going to go back at least 7 times before they finally leave for good. And hopefully they have the opportunity to leave and continue to live a happy and healthy life, and they don't leave in another way, if you know what I mean. Because that's a very high statistic of people that are involved in domestic violence situations that do not survive. So please, when you hear about these situations and you hear that someone has been doing activities that are out of the norm, and they're being coerced into doing things, just because they are an active participant in it doesn't necessarily mean that they wanted to do it and that they weren't in fear that if they did not comply, that they will be taken out of here. Come on, guys. We've got to start to use our critical thinking skills sometimes, and not just go off of emotion or go off of, favoritism for one person over the other. Like, let's use deductive reasoning, because this is not a normal situation. And I think you guys all know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to specifically say who it is. And I'm also talking more broadly about domestic violence and how it truly works. And any person I can't even say woman, because men are also involved in domestic violence situations and sometimes become the victim as well. When you're involved in a situation like that, you've got to plan effectively, and you've got to have a safety plan. You cannot just up and leave. I'm leaving you because you abuse me and you're violent. You think that they're just going to let you leave? That's not how it works. And then you say, oh, I will fight back, I would do this. You don't know what you would do until you are in the situation, and you are the person that has to put your life on the line to leave. After you've been stripped of your independence. After they don't come in, guys. In these situations, the person doesn't come in showing you their wolf teeth. They don't come in with the teeth, the fangs out. That's not how they come. They come with roses. They come whining and dining you. They come love bombing you, where you're like, oh my God, did I meet my dream man? Did I meet my dream woman? Did I meet my dream partner? You're just like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And then the claws come out. Once you are hooked, once you're already emotionally invested, then the claws come out. So guys, please, 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 do not victim shame. Do not blame someone for being involved in a situation like this, because you don't know who else in your life might currently be in a situation. Domestic violence is a very serious, it's a very touchy topic, and it's not something that we should take lightly. And just for the record, the person can't just leave. I hope this makes sense. I'll holla. Testing. Roll your shoulders back. Hey!
damn boss, put some more on my plate. And I'm out here 5150. Got a couple shades on, looking like something. Got a full house, she got her own car. Talk shit, work hard, you a bad broad. Step in the break, to the floor. Now I got dollars, so I was up that bootylicious bubble gum. Better break, cherry coming. In my blood, straight from the dick. When you snap the tape, it's kinda jerky neck.
Please tell your lovers and friends that Ursha Johnson knew that had to do it again.
Give yourselves a round of applause. You've been into creating comics, and so what was your very first comic?
My very first full-fledged comic book was my first character that I created called Nervy. If those that know, Nervy, that is my nickname.
I already told you about jump rope. If you pick up that jump rope, you could do it in your backyard, you could do it in your garage, wherever, or you could do like me. I do it in the house. I just have a mat that I put down and I hop to it. I just get it in where you fit it in. You understand? It don't have to be a big production all the time, but just start with something. I was in, what's her, I don't know, her channel name is Brit. I was in Brit's live today and she was saying how she has stairs in her house and she'll do those. And I'm like, that's perfect. Use what you got to get what you want. You heard? Use what you got to get what you want. Don't be using Ronnie's whole quotes on me. What movie is that from? I gave it away because I said the character's name. But it is what it is, y'all. We got a lot going on. Earlier I was talking about domestic violence. I was saying that, you know, like, read up on it. Read up on domestic violence and how it works before you start going online and saying crazy things. Like, why couldn't she just leave? Or why didn't she do this? Or why didn't she do that? It's not that easy. You can't just leave. You really do have to make a plan. So, like I said earlier, if you got a friend or if you yourself are in a situation, seek out the domestic violence hotline in your area and work with them to devise a plan. But do it safely. Do it safely. It's not a game. It's really not. And we don't talk about it enough. It's another one of those things that gets swept under the rug or people don't really talk about. When a person is going through that situation and they're the victim or the perpetrator, they're not going to be going around telling everybody what they're doing behind closed doors. So sometimes you won't even know. And it doesn't always have to be physical, guys. I talked about that before, but it really doesn't have to be physical. I just want you guys to really understand and be mindful of how you're speaking about the popular things that are happening in society, because you do not know who around you may be going through a similar situation. It might not be as out there or as outrageous as what we're hearing about in the news, but they could be dealing with their own domestic violence situation, and you clowning a victim is triggering for them. So just be mindful. Like, we got to be kinder to each other and give people grace. You won't really understand unless you've been in a domestic violence situation, or like me, I have not been in a physically violent situation, but like I said before, I was emotionally abused before. I was. That's not as violent, but in the same rate, when I was ready to leave and when I did finally leave, I was harassed with like taunting pictures and stuff like that, but never any like physical violence. It was never physical. But let me tell you something, like, just be mindful. Be mindful of what you're saying out there and saying she's dumb. She shouldn't have did that. How could she? That would never be me. You don't know what would ever be you until you're in the situation. You don't know what you're capable of or what life will throw you until you're in the situation. And that's true for a lot of things, but especially matters like that. I was never like physically abused, but I saw a woman who was, when I worked as a social worker, I saw her up close and personal as she laid in that hospital bed. And that is one of the images I will never forget. She was laying in that hospital bed, all at the hands of someone that she loved. And that just broke my heart for her. Because not only are you physically hurting or physically injured, but you're also spiritually injured, and you're also mentally injured. Like, so guys, just please, like, give people a little understanding, and don't be so quick to call people stupid or dumb. She dumb to keep going back. You don't know why she has to go back. You don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. It's been heavy on my heart because the way that people are reacting is like, wow. That's, even after seeing what I seen, we saw a video, and even after seeing that video, people are still like, oh, she's stupid, she should have left. Did you not see in the video she was trying to leave? And you know who I'm talking about, guys. I'm not saying any names, but I'm just saying, and I'm using that situation as an example because, child, domestic violence is real. It might be next door to you. It might be somebody in your family that you don't know is going through it. So just be mindful of that. And if you do have somebody in your family that is going through it, don't just tell them to leave unless you're helping them to create a safety plan. Please. If they're going to leave, they have to leave safely. I hope you got something out of the video today. I thank you so much for watching. I want to shout out every supporter, every person that has been congratulating me on this 1K journey and also my monetization journey. I thank you guys so much. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. See you later. Bye, y'all.
It's not the diamond. It's not the diamond. It's not the pearl. It's not the pearl. I'm that girl. I'm that girl. It's just that I'm that girl.